This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by LRN.FM. Feds don't want you to hear them.
Hey! 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 Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down!
Seattle police shooting a harmless deaf whittler in the back.
Ma'am, he had a knife and he wouldn't drop it.
Guys, you're all under arrest for criminal trespass, okay?
Keene police rounding up activists for visiting a jail. There probably isn't a traditional government anywhere immune to such abuses. A lot of folks react to this type of behavior, or maybe I should say they overreact, by demanding anarchy, the removal of all government. Seems like every revolution has anarchists in it. The Mexican Revolution did, and so did the Spanish Civil War.
Cars are stopped everywhere, and credentials must be shown.
But there's a reason why there aren't any anarchic regions in the world. Anarchy probably isn't sustainable as a system. I think it has a lot of advantages in and of itself, it just can't be sustained. So it doesn't matter what advantages it might have. Anarchy is like a vacuum, and nature does not respect vacuums. There's a reason why people don't fill hot air balloons with a vacuum. Sure, technically a vacuum is lighter than helium or hot air, but a balloon would collapse if it had nothing in it. And the area that could have been filled with helium is instead filled with heavy air. We need to fill the balloon of society with a government light enough to be non-aggressive, but strong enough to keep out the heavy air, the authoritarian type of governance that arises after anarchy. I think I've already articulated in the past how that government could look, or how it could come about. You could have something very similar in many ways to what we have now, with the exception that it's not allowed to tax. Or you could have something similar to what we have now, except it's not allowed to be a monopoly. In other words, you could have multiple competing governments in the same location, or you could have one government that's not allowed to tax. Either of the above options would probably fill the balloon with the proverbial helium and keep out the heavy air without itself being too heavy. That's what I would call the ideal solution. Of course, it hasn't really been tried yet, so we can't be sure that it would work. In the absence of that, we can always rest assured that the interim solution is good too.
You're fired.
You are the trustee.
Mr. Ingress.
And
Mr.
are you not the
Ingress.
executor?
Mr. Ingress.
I'm the beneficiary.
Well,
And I authorize you to handle the accounting and dissolve this constructive trust.
Mr. Ingress.
I now claim my body.
And that is what we have now, except with more watchdogging and more liberty activism. That's the solution we know would be beneficial. Probably even average people can agree with us that that would be beneficial. The best part about it is we can live in the virtual certainty that it will happen.
Nope, can't do that.
Federal agents on the streets of Keene, New Hampshire. They're investigating reports of an unlicensed radio station said to be broadcasting LRN.FM. So why all the fuss? What is LRN.FM? Well, it's probably not something these agents want you to listen to. It's a 24-hour news talk broadcast, all pro-liberty. A true authoritarian-free zone. Tune in at LRN.FM to listen or broadcast their signal. LRN.FM. Feds don't want you to hear them.